This video is dedicated to the Hall effect thumbsticks that AimControllers is building into their current PS5 DualSense custom controllers. These pro level controllers feature a ton of awesome tech, and I recently did a video on the face plates as well as the active triggers and their control switch. If you want to check that out, feel free to hit the link right here and you can hop over there and watch that video. This video is going to be, like I said, more driven towards the Hall effect thumbsticks. The first thing I want to check is if the Hall effect thumbsticks cause any weight difference between past controllers. So here I have like one of the first gen AimControllers of the DualSense thing, and then this is the one that introduced the active triggers as well as the faceplate switch. So I'm just gonna weigh the original 10.5 ounces, and then I'm gonna go on to the one that I just did a video on, 10.7 ounces. So there's a little bit of weight increase here. I believe that is due to the faceplate design and the magnets that are built into that. So that little bit of weight difference is probably what's causing that. And finally, the new one with the Hall effect thumbsticks. As you can see, it's gone up about a 0.1 of an ounce. I'm not sure if that's due to the thumbsticks here or anything else. I tried to configure these two controllers exactly the same. So on the back, you can see there's no like custom grip, as you would notice on this one, because I know this adds a little bit of weight there. They all have the version 2 here, and that is it for the weight comparisons between those controllers. Before I close this test out, let's just for fun, let's do the DualSense Edge to see how much that weighs. As you can see, it's quite a bit more in weight difference between all of these controllers. The next thing that I want to try to do is remove any subjectivity on how these thumbsticks respond to actuation. So, you know, how they feel. I can sit here and tell you all day on video that they feel the same as what you would experience on a standard thumbstick, because they kind of do. When you press the L3 and R3, there's a little bit more tension on these. I can feel it in comparison to the Hall effect sticks. They feel a little bit looser, a lot more responsive, I will say, and they have been a lot more responsive in gameplay. So to help remove that subjectivity and kind of put some numbers to it, I have a Wheeler Engineering Gunsmithing digital trigger gauge. This is used to gauge the poundage of weight on, you know, if you're calibrating a weapon or something like that. This is probably the closest that I can try to remove any subjective, you know, evaluation of these thumbsticks. So let's go ahead and put this thing to the test. So I'm pulling down to about here on the thumbstick. I don't want to pull all the way to the edge because that will cause inaccurate reading of the amount of, you know, pull it takes to move that thumbstick in those directions. And it looks like that's a 1.8 ounce of resistance on the right thumbstick. Let's go ahead and start over and do the left thumbstick. Very accurate, and in comparison between the two is exactly the same. So you're gonna get very constant feedback on both of these thumbsticks. Historically on the standard thumbstick, you'll get a little bit of deviation between these two thumbsticks on controllers. So just for fun, we'll compare the other controllers as well. I'll clear this out, do the right thumbstick. 2 ounces of pull there. And 2.2 ounces on the left thumbstick. You can see that's what I'm talking about for the variation. Let's do the most recent AimControllers that I got that has standard thumbsticks on the right thumbstick. 1.9 ounces and 1.7 ounces. Again, the variation is you know, point some odd ounces in difference between the two. They feel the same, but you can feel that they're a little bit different when you're actuating these. Another thing that I wanted to test is I have this Battle Beavers custom controller that has increased thumbstick tension, and I want to show you how much pull it takes to get these to actuate. 4.3 ounces. So this is good for like a high-rise type of thing and assisting you in your aiming and whatnot, but we're not here to talk about Battle Beaver. We're just here to talk about the differences and compare. 4.3. So as you can see, this one has very heavy trigger pull, as well as like depressing is exhausting. So your thumbs do get tired when playing with an increased thumbstick tension. Before we go though, I do want to do the DualSense Edge just for fun, just to see how these thumbsticks perform. 2.2 ounces. 2.2 ounces. So much more, I guess much more consistency on the DualSense Edge for the standard thumbstick design than the actual standard thumbsticks that are provided on old Aim controllers. But I will say that these feel a little bit lighter, and they seem like they're gonna add to accuracy in like first-person shooters and whatnot. I like the way these feel. They're a huge improvement, I would say, over like the standard thumbstick, and that's just to go off the design. So with that being said, that concludes this test. Okay, so the next thing that I thought of that I would want to know about the Hall Effect sticks when I initially ordered this controller is like, how accurate are they? And I read a bunch of stuff about having to recalibrate them and stuff like that. So that made me a little bit nervous when I first input my order for this controller. That being said, this thing came to me right out of the box, calibrated, ready to go. Like I didn't have to do anything. Initially, AimControllers sent an email to me stating if I needed to recalibrate it, here were the steps. And they also published a video, which I wish they would let me work with them to make a better product for an instructional video for calibration, because that is my forte. So hey, AimControllers, if you want me to help you with redoing your calibration video, hit me up, you know where to find me. The thing that I'm going to use is Hardware Tester. It's a web-based tool that is free to use. And this tool more specifically is the Gamepad Tester. I'm gonna plug the Hall Effect controller in so we can get right to it. And you see it registers, and then I'm gonna hit some thumbsticks, and it's zeroed out almost perfectly on all of them. There is a tiny bit of jitter when you kind of return on the left thumbstick, as you can see, but it's almost negligible. I would say that's a rounding error, and then it surfaces itself out. It's literally perfect. Like this thing, if you go around in a circle, I don't know the error rates. I know Gamer Heaven does a pretty good job and an extensive review of like the error rates on that. So I would direct you to his video if you want to look at that. You can see like how responsive it is. It's like almost instant. And then I'll show you what I mean by that, because as you can see, these things are like hitting perfectly. It's like almost an instant actuation of it. But not so much that it is, jarring. If you want to have a competitive controller, these Hall Effect sticks are something that you're definitely going to want. As you can see, it's zeroed out almost perfectly. So I'm going to move on to the original AimControllers controller that I had, and plug this in so I can show you the difference. Zooming in right here, standard one. You can see it already initializes as having a little bit of jitter, and it doesn't zero out perfectly. In the left stick realm, it should be 00392 on the axes, but it doesn't go back home every time perfectly. And you can see like it takes a little bit to get to these points. It is pretty responsive, but I would say the Hall Effect, you can feel it when you're playing a game. Like it's much more responsive, much easier to use, and you're going to gain that competitive edge, especially if you're playing first-person shooters. That being said, you can see that the standard sticks is not as responsive. Let's go to the most newest, or the most newest aim controller that I have with the active triggers. Let's get this one going. You can see there's a little bit of jitter on the right stick, and you can see there's not a consistent roundabout on this one. Especially the left stick. Watch, it doesn't go all the way to the edge, so the error rates are pretty high. The right thumbstick's a little bit better. You can see there's a little bit of jitter. I could recalibrate this, but I'm just going off of having this straight out of the box. That is the most newest one. Let's hop over to the Battle Beaver just for fun with these increased thumbsticks and see how this thing performs, since we're comparing them all in this video anyway. This one has a pretty good response rate and needs a little bit of calibration on the left thumbstick. As you can see, it's not perfectly zeroed out. Same with the right thumbstick. Pretty responsive. I'd say it's a little bit more responsive than the standard thumbstick, but not as responsive as the Hall Effect thumbstick. Moving on, and finally closing this portion out with the DualSense Edge, and it is recognized as the DualSense Edge. I don't know about the error rate, but it feels like a standard thumbstick. It has a tendency to return to center more often than not, I would say that this quality of thumbstick in the DualSense Edge is a little bit better than what you would get on the standard OEM DualSense controller. So the DualSense Edge has a better thumbstick with a little bit more responsive actuation. So with that being said, this concludes the portion of where I kind of try to demonstrate how responsive the Hall Effect thumbsticks are. In conclusion, the Hall Effect sticks on this controller from AimControllers on the custom DualSense controller are actually really, really good. I know there was some concern with the beta testing that was going on with the initial batch of these, but I think they're doing a really good job now because I went through the order process as a standard customer, and this is the quality of product that you're going to receive as, you know, just a regular customer, because I purchased this thing with my own money. Get a really feature-rich custom DualSense controller from AimControllers with, you know, 4 programmable or remappable paddles, the active trigger system, which is the second to none. It's literally the best implementation of controllers that has the switch that allows you to still continue to utilize those adaptive triggers and enjoy them on a standard game, but flip over to a FPS shooter and have digital click triggers. They literally have the best trigger system on a custom DualSense controller out of any manufacturer or custom DualSense controller maker. And I challenge anybody to that because you can get best of both worlds with this. Even the DualSense Edge doesn't provide that because it's still kind of mushy. It's not as responsive when you want the digital click trigger system. Another thing with AimControllers is they went the route to allow you to change out your faceplates with this new way of, you know, swapping the cover, the shells on the controllers. I kind of like that idea because you spend a lot of money on your custom controller and you may not love the way that it looks come, you know, a couple months. Why would you have to purchase another one? I kind of like that idea, but I will say that with the touchpad here, it becomes a little bit difficult to like register sometimes when you want to use it to type on the PlayStation 5 for whatever reason, you know, guide the cursor and stuff like that. But with that minor inconvenience, I would say that the trade-off is minor because you can still navigate the screens with your thumbstick or your D-pad. Ultimately, if you're considering Hall Effect sticks from AimControllers, I wouldn't worry about it because it's going to get shipped to you in a way that you can plug and play. And I would say that you would want to make adjustments to the games that you're playing before you would go into the gamepad tester and try to recalibrate it, because out of the box this thing came ready to go. I will say that I really, really like these thumbsticks. They're really responsive and I don't have to worry about stick drift ever. If I ever come into a situation where I need to recalibrate, I just hop in and follow those instructions. Again, AimControllers, if you want me to help you with that instructional video that's kind of rough and kind of tough to follow, hit me up, man. You know where I am. I'll help you make a really awesome instructional video on how to calibrate your controller, your AimControllers Hall Effect stick, and it'll be better for your customers. Well, with that being said, I have nothing to disclose. AimControllers didn't send me this. I purchased this thing with my own hard-earned cash because of the support from you guys, from liking, subscribing, watching, and sharing my videos. It helps a ton. If you're interested in other videos that I've done on AimControllers, you know, you can hit my channel. You'll see them. I'll leave them linked in the description if you're interested. I'll also leave a link to AimControllers. Full disclosure, that is not affiliated. It's just me directing you to where you want to pick this controller up. I would also suggest that I would wait for sales because Aim does discounted sales all the time, especially around Black Friday and middle of like summer, like right now. You can get a 50% off code for that. Just check in periodically or sign up for their newsletter. They'll let you know when sales are running. And at that point, this controller becomes highly recommended for me because there is no better deal out there, especially after the discount is applied. You can get a really fantastic high-end controller for under the cost of a DualSense Edge. And these things blow the DualSense Edge out of the water. Well, that about does it for me in this one. If you liked this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what to do. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I'm Tomas, and I'll catch you in the next one.